Right, hello guys, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over some settings for Modern Warfare 2 in Season 5. And the only reason I'm making this video is one of you guys, well, a few of you people have requested me to make some updated settings for Season 5 in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2, of course, because these settings do apply for both. And I can kind of see why you guys asked for these settings, because for some reason, they've changed things again in Modern Warfare 2. Like, things are definitely different. I went back on there, played a few games, and I could definitely tell things are different, but I've adjusted my settings slightly. And in case any of you guys are looking for settings and have never come across one of my videos, I'm happy to give you some settings. Hopefully these settings will help you guys out with one, either if you're using an Elite controller like I am using here, which I will talk about first, or the Modern Warfare 2 settings / Warzone 2 settings, which will be timestamped or left as a thing in the description to say what section you need to go to for the Modern Warfare 2 settings. But to start off with, we will discuss the Xbox Elite Series 2 settings, just because that's what I use. I use this controller. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys will know, if you have been on the channel before or have seen my previous videos, that I like to use the Elite Series 2 controller. It's a fantastic controller. I heavily stand by it. Brief things before I do talk about the Elite Series 2 controller. If you are planning on buying one, all I'm going to say is make sure you get a warranty. This controller is prone to damage and stuff. It isn't the most how would I put it, durable controller. It does break kind of easily. I would get an extended warranty on top of obviously the warranty you get when you buy the controller as standard. But yeah, you could buy the Elite Series 2, of course. They also have the Elite Series Core, which is a controller basically without the paddles and stuff. So if you guys want to do that, that's up to you. And I would advise that, because the Elite Series Core is obviously cheaper, and you can get third-party paddles and stuff, which aren't too different from the Xbox official stuff. So, and it's a lot cheaper. So if I were you guys, I'd go for the Elite Series Core if you're looking for a cheap Elite Series controller to be able to take advantage, of course, of these settings. So I'm gonna start with these settings. Again, guys, these settings are the same. The only thing that's different, of course, as you can see, the paddles are set up. Now, obviously, it's not going to show you guys which paddles I do have in and which I don't have in. This paddle here, and this paddle here, I do not have a paddle there. This is the only paddle I have active. It's actually a small paddle there for A, because of course that is the jump button for me, which I will show you guys, of course, when I get to the Modern Warfare 2 settings. But yes, the right-sided paddle is a short paddle on the bottom half for me. It just suits me, and I advise you guys, if you're going to set up your paddles, give them a shot, mess around with them in custom games, and see what works for you, because I think it's not a one-size-fits-all. I don't think you guys putting a small paddle there is going to be the be-all end-all for everyone. You might want a long paddle there, you might want a short paddle at the top, you might want two short paddles at the bottom. I just use one paddle on the right-hand side for the A button to jump, and that's the only paddle that I need. If you guys want to do things to be able to pick up items in Warzone and stuff, and pick up items quickly or play quickly and stuff, then feel free to mess around with the other paddles and use the different paddles. But for me, I only use one paddle. And the only reason I'm saying this as well is because you guys, I feel like some of you will think that you need to use all 4 paddles. You don't have to use all 4 paddles that come with the controller. If you buy the Elite Series 2 controller, of course. If you buy the core, you don't have the paddles, of course. Anyway, let's move on to the source, okay? The left stick. Keep this on radio. Doesn't really matter. It's movement. Movement's just normal. There's nothing crazy about movement. But next up, let's go on to the right stick, because this is the bread and butter. Change this to true diagonals, okay? This will make your aim as precise as anything. This will give you the best aim with this controller. That is the bread and butter. This is the only controller out there that will do this. You won't get this with a Scarf. You won't get this with a Battle Beaver. You can't change the calculation of the controller. This setting right here will make your aim massively better, because as you can see, I can't really, obviously I don't have a hand cam, but this is going exactly where my hand, where I'm moving the joystick. It is exactly where it needs to be. So yeah, right stick, change it to true diagonals. Thank me later, you will understand massively when you use this setting. Next up, triggers. Set these to 0 and 1. What this does is make it an instant press, okay? Obviously, you want to change this if you can for racing games and stuff, so make sure you don't have this on if you're doing racing games and stuff, otherwise you're not really going to be, able to accelerate it properly and stuff and be able to control your speed. But for aiming and obviously shooting in Call of Duty, you just want it to be instant. You want that trigger to be going instantly. So what you want to do, set these both to 0 and 1. Again, it will set instantly. And for me, I've got the trigger stop on the right-hand side. Again, put that to full. You want the maximum trigger stop. You want to be pushing that button, that trigger, as little as possible. On the left trigger, I do have it as a full press, just because it doesn't work well for me. It feels weird having it not pushed down all the way when I try to aim down sight. Don't know if that's just me or you guys might feel the same, But up to you guys how you want to run that left side with the trigger. You can have it obviously on a shorter press if you want, but for me, I like to get that feeling of fully pressing the trigger. It's just something that I've gotten used to. But yeah. Next up, vibration, have this off. Do not have the vibration on. There is no reason to have your vibration on your controller. It just makes your controller move about in your hand, and it makes your hands unsteady, and why would you want the controller shaking around in your hands? I don't understand this. So if you guys haven't already, turn off vibration on controller. It might take some getting used to, but just have it off, okay? I know some people like the immersive feeling that you're just not going to aim straight if you have this on. And then finally, as we always say, the color. Change it to orange. Gives you maximum aim assist. No, I'm joking. It doesn't actually do it. But, you know, you can change the color if you want to. So, yeah, that's the Elite controller. The only thing I'll add on top of that, of course, which you can't see, is I use a short dome stick on the left, and on the right, I use the normal stick. However, I do have a tool control freak on there, and I'll leave links to this stuff in the description as well. And there will be Amazon affiliate links as well. Just, you know, just so you guys can check out and stuff, and I want to be obviously 100% transparent. If you guys do click on and do buy stuff using those links, then obviously I do get a cut of stuff. Because again, I'm not trying to scumbag you guys. I only promote stuff that I feel are great products. And control freaks are amazing. I actually have Black Ops 4 controller freaks. I don't think you can get these anymore, but they've lasted that long. Since I've had them in Black Ops 4, this tool control freak has lasted that long. And it cost about, I think it was £10, maybe less than that, to pick up a pack of these, and you get one for your left stick and one for your right stick. They're amazing, absolutely great quality. They do not break on you, and I game quite a lot, you know. So guys, if I were you, invest in a control freak. If not, if you've got the accessories that come with the Elite Series 2, of course, you could just put a tool stick on there instead. It'll give you kind of the same feeling, but I personally like having the control freak on top of the normal stick on the right stick. And then finally, the last bit to that as well, on the right stick is the only stick where I change the tension. If you didn't know, you can change the tension of your sticks. The left I leave on default, and on the right stick we change the tension to maximum tension. This makes the thumbstick really stiff and really hard to move. But the reason you want it to do that is so that like you don't get those moments where you jitter or you go off target. Like with it being as stiff as possible, you can be more precise with that right analog stick. So yeah, that's the Elite Series 2 controller. I tried to do that as quick as possible for you guys so I don't bore you too much. But next, we're going to cut to some Modern Warfare 2, and I'm going to discuss my settings for Season 5 of Modern Warfare 2. So yeah, let's cut to some Modern Warfare 2 Season 5 settings. Okay, so here we are on Modern Warfare 2 for the Season 5 settings, because again, for whatever reason, they changed the way things work in this game. Now, the only thing I can think of is either A, they do it on purpose, or B, it's accidental and they have no idea, or even C, that while I do have a theory that they're kind of changing things more geared to see how they want things to play in Modern Warfare 3, because if you guys don't know, Modern Warfare 3 has officially been announced now. It will be coming out November 10th, later this year, and there'll be more information, of course, as the leaks continue throughout the year, and the Easter eggs get solved and stuff, etc., etc. But we'll find out more about that. But yeah, Modern Warfare 3 will be released this year, and I feel like a lot of these changes are geared to trying to get those mechanics to work, and, you know, change the mechanics geared to that and see what works, what doesn't work. That's why I think they're going. That's why I kind of think this has happened. I could be completely wrong with that, but who knows, eh? I don't know if Infinity Ward knows what they're doing with the game. But anyway, let's get into the settings, shall we? So, we're talking a controller, of course. That's obviously what we showcased with the Elite Series controller. So if you guys were looking for PC settings, unfortunately, I am on Xbox Series X, so I can't help you with like performance, with like graphics and stuff when it comes to PC, unfortunately. However, I can help you with your controller in your Xbox or PS5 settings, of course. So I use a 6.6 sensitivity. I did change this from the last video I believe I made about this. I haven't done a video on like controller settings for quite a while. Sensitivity multiplier, keep this the same, but I use 6.6. I'd go anywhere between 4 and 6. I feel like that's the minimum and the maximum you should go. If you're one of those crazy people that can play on 20, go for it. As long as you know that you're being accurate, then you can do that. But if you're not, then between 4 and 6 is a good threshold, I'd say. These don't change really. Doesn't change. Again, automatic sprint. I have this off. Some people like to have this on. I personally have it off. It's Modern Warfare 2. You can't go into a gunfight sprinting. It just doesn't work. Maybe you'll be able to Modern Warfare 3 though. Slide cancelling might be coming next, so we'll see how that goes, right? Double tap ADS for weapon mount activation, so you're not randomly doing that by accident. Armor plate behavior, I go apply all. Up to you guys. I don't really play Warzone 2 to be fair, but I do know these aim settings will work the exact same in Warzone 2. Now, this is what we've changed. I've been back and forth with this all year because they keep messing around with this. I had it on default for a very long time. I come back on the game, they mess around with it, and Black Ops is king again. Black Ops is absurdly overpowered again for absolutely no reason. I have no idea what they did. I have no idea why they changed it. They definitely nerfed it at some point. and now it's crazy overpowered again. So if you guys are a controller, you need to take advantage of this. And I'm sorry, PC players, but this setting's insane again. It's like actual aimbot. It's crazy. Obviously, you got to pair that with dynamic as well. You can try linear. I've seen some people get away with it and have some good success with linear, but I'd stay with dynamic. Dynamic is the absolute best response curve type in Call of Duty, and it helps gear you up for other games as well. I feel like linear is very hit or miss in most games, whereas dynamic is kind of the same across all cards, really. You want this being instant as well, of course. Custom sensitivity per zoom, I have this off. You can change this if you want for sniping and stuff, because it obviously goes for the scopes and what zoom you're using. Input dead zones, this is important. 0.05. I know some of you might be able to get away with 0.2 and 0.03 if you have a new controller, which is absolutely fine. But if you guys will notice, obviously, eventually your sticks will increase with like, sensitivity and stuff. So I have it on 0.05 just to be safe. So when that does happen, when my sticks do like get a little bit of drift from that, which they still don't, it's still fantastic, still works perfectly fine. I've had this controller for at least 2 years now, 2.5 years. And yeah, my dead zones are fine. So 0.05, I think is the standard. Leave these on 0.99. Left trigger and right trigger, you want these to be hit instantly. Set these to 0. This will make sure that you can hit those triggers instantly. Oh, we went off the settings. And yeah, nothing too crazy here. Auto forward, I've got that off. Grounded mantle, turn that off so you're not randomly mantling. Basically, all this stuff is off so I don't randomly mantle. Nothing too crazy here, really. Weapon mount move makes it on. No, nothing too crazy here. We'll go with graphics, though. Graphics are important. It does affect your aim, the graphics. World motion blur. Turn it off. If you have any of these off, any of these on, sorry, I wouldn't. It's just gonna, as you can see, it makes your game more blurry. Like, why would you want to do that? You want to be able to see people, so turn that off. Turn this off. Film grain, turn it down to 0. You want the game to be as smooth as possible and to look as nice as possible for you to be able to see people. Depth of field, have this off. Fidelity cast, if you're on console, of course, I'd have this on and turn it up to 100 because it just massively improves the performance. And especially if you're on those older consoles, I feel like it absolutely helps the best. 120 hertz refresh rate. If you have a monitor capable of doing that, absolutely have that turned on. Way better than playing on 60 FPS. And then finally, field of view. Anywhere between 90 and 105 is the threshold I'd go for. You can go at 120 if you want to, but you will lose aim assist. Like, it is noticeable in those moments where you lose aim assist. But I go anywhere between 90 and 105, and I believe the best standard is 105. So personally, I'd say go for 105. Next up, you want to have your camera shaking as least as possible. Change your movement to 50. Basically, this will stop your screen shaking as much as possible. Unfortunately, you can't change this to 0, unfortunately. I don't know why they don't allow that. I'd personally have it on 0 if I could, but set it to 50%. That's the least you can do. Brightness, again, this will depend on your monitor, etc. So make sure you're doing that correctly. Safe area, I've got this on minimum as possible so I can see the minimap and stuff. And then finally, eco mode. This is something that came about. I've turned this off because obviously it says it enables power saving features. It says it does not impact in-game performance. However, I just can't trust that. So if I were you guys, I'd turn this setting off just in case you're playing, at slightly worse settings because of this eco mode. So I just turn it off. I don't know why they added this very late into the cycle. No idea, but they added that. And then finally, let's get back over to the last bit because these pairs are quite important as well. Audio, headphone bass boost. If you guys are on PC, I imagine using sound EQ, which if you aren't, then you aren't taking advantage of the most broken thing in this game. Unfortunately, you can't do that on console. Nothing really too crazy with the settings, but I like to have the music down, dialogue volume down, cinematics volume down, and then just these up to 100. And then, yeah, game chat lobby doesn't make a difference. Mic sensitivity, again, no difference there. None of this is really important. And we'll go on to the last bit, interface, because some of this is quite important. I have it set up like this. I haven't changed this for a long, long time. This seems to be the best visual and makes it as clear as possible for me. So I have it on color filter 2. Color filter target both, so it does your world and everything else. Color intensity in that 100, and then custom. This is up to you what colors you want here. You can have any colors you want, but this is the colors that I went with. I feel like everything sticks out to me, makes sense, and when I'm playing in game, I can tell who's an enemy, who's not, who's my teammate, what's contested, what's not contested. It's kind of how it makes the game better for me visually. Everything else, again, not too crazy. This is on default on square. If you change this to circle, change it back to square. Obviously have the rotation on. Compass, this doesn't matter. I actually have this off just because most of the time I really just had this off just to do thumbnails and stuff because it's really weird to have it up in the top. But yeah, nothing too crazy. Oh, center dot. Center dot's quite useful. I like having the center dot. I keep it on default as well. It's quite useful for those moments where you want to kind of put your aim onto a target, and that center dot is very helpful. So I personally have that on. And packet loss and server latency, so you can check that you're not on a bad server. And yeah, oh, an inverted flash, just so you're not blinding yourself. I personally have this on, so you want to have your eyes for when you go past that age of 30. And if you're already past the age of 30, you've made it, okay? But make sure you have that inverted flash on. So yeah, that is it. Modern Warfare 2 Season 5 settings. Done this video again because some of you guys asked for it, and at the same time, for some reason, Infinity Ward decided to change how things worked in Season 5. No idea why. Don't know what their design choices are. Again, I think it might be possible that these are things that have been changed towards Modern Warfare 3. I don't know. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions about today's video that you do need explained in the comments or need answering, feel free to leave the comments down below. I will try to answer them as best as possible, and I know some of you guys will help out as well. That's what I've seen a lot in this community. You guys are commenting on other people's comments to try and help them out with things like whether it be old Call of Duties that I do, you know, whether or not it works on Xbox, stuff like that. And I'm sure it'll be the same as this video. So yeah, I will try my best to answer any of your questions about either the Elite Series 2 controller, Modern Warfare 2 settings, Xbox for PC, and PC with controller and stuff and setting up. But I can't really talk about PC graphics and stuff. And so unfortunately, I don't really know about the settings and stuff when it comes to PC graphics and how to get higher FPS and stuff. But I know that's a concern for a lot of PC players. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, notifications on. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye.